afternoon. I'm Brittany Folgers, and thanks for joining us for Local 5 News at noon. Investigators have logged some long hours, continuing to follow new leads, but still without suspects in last week's shooting death in Bellevue. Local 5's Terry Kovarik is live from the newsroom with an update. Terry.
By its own estimation, the Brown County Sheriff's Office has logged over 200 investigative hours over the past several days into the death of Suzette Langlois. In a news release issued this morning, Public Information Officer Jody Lemons said investigators continue interviews, following up on tips, and working to include or exclude possible persons of interest. The release goes on to say investigation of a major crime where there are no eyewitnesses and no obvious motive or suspect takes time. It also says the Wisconsin State Crime Lab is examining a large quantity of evidence from the scene. A number of those items have already been processed for DNA, fingerprints, and other trace evidence. Investigators are also not releasing any specifics on anything taken from the crime scene or other details because investigators say that would be detrimental to their investigation. Live from the newsroom, Terry Kovarik, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Terry. And to continuing coverage now, Jesus Castilavita Quinton headed to court this morning for a competency hearing. The 18-year-old Green Bay man is facing 5 criminal charges after police say he lured 4 children under the age of 10 into the 1001 Club, assaulted 2 of them, then allegedly started the building on fire. He will be back in court on October 4th to determine his competency. Meanwhile, the Fond du Lac County District Attorney says he intends to retry Dennis Brantner in the 1990 murder of Barrett Beck. However, to do that, he needs to wait on a judge to rule on a motion by Brantner's defense that there is insufficient evidence and a prosecution's motion that the retrial would not be double jeopardy. Brantner was on trial for the 1990 murder of Barrett Beck. The 18-year-old woman disappeared on July 17th of that year while traveling from her home near Racine to Appleton for work. Her van was found days later in Fond du Lac. Then her body was discovered about 6 weeks later in a ditch outside Waupun. Well, a Suamico man faces resultant second-degree reckless injury and mayhem charges following a bizarre incident involving alleged blood drinking. According to the criminal complaint, 24-year-old Jonathan Schrapp is accused of cutting a woman's arm, drinking her blood, and then cutting off her pinky. The incident took place at an apartment in Suamico on August 26th. Investigators say the woman consented to the act and told police that she was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. After several attempts to stop the bleeding by cauterizing her wounds, the woman was taken to the hospital where nurses informed police of what happened. They called police because they believed the incident was a cult initiation. Investigators are looking for another suspect. For the full story, go to our website at wearegreenbay.com. Well, family is without a home after a house fire in Fond du Lac. The Fond du Lac Fire Department was called to a home on 4th Street just before 10 last night for what appeared to be a dryer fire. The home suffered smoke and heat damage. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Well, the woman is in the hospital and faces a repeat OWI charge after a crash last night in Winnebago County. Police say around 10 last night, rescue crews arrived to a rollover accident on I-41 North, just south of State Highway 26. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office says a 40-year-old Kenosha woman was traveling north when she hit another car, lost control, and flipped her vehicle. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the other vehicle was not hurt. Police say alcohol was a major factor in the crash and that this was the driver's 6th OWI offense. A Chilton man who was seriously hurt in a rollover crash Sunday has died. The Calumet County Sheriff's Department says 21-year-old Joshua Hannon rolled his vehicle on State Highway 114 near Lake Breeze Drive. The accident remains under investigation. Making national headlines now, President Obama is on a historic visit to the country of Laos. He's the first sitting president to visit the isolated Southeast Asian nation and is already in the middle of a diplomatic dispute. The new president of the Philippines threatened to call President Obama a distasteful name if questioned about human rights concerns. President Obama canceled his planned meeting with Rodrigo Duterte, calling the Filipino leader a colorful guy. Well, Donald Trump says Mexico's president broke an agreement when he contradicted Trump and said the two did discuss who would pay for Trump's proposed wall along the Mexican border. Hillary Clinton called Trump's trip a failure. The two candidates head south today with rallies in the battleground states of Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. And 13 people were shot to death in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend as the city logged its 500th homicide of the year. 31 of the 65 people shot over the long holiday weekend were wounded between 6 a.m. Monday and 3 a.m. Tuesday. 9 of the fatal shootings occurred over that period. Among those shot was Crystal Meyer, who was 9 months pregnant and was wounded in the abdomen on the same block where someone had been killed less than 20 hours earlier. No information on the baby was available. Keeping it local this afternoon, the 2016-2017 school year is just beginning for students across the country, and today is move-in day for some college kids here in Northeast Wisconsin. Local 5's Elsa Robbins has the story.
It's move-in day on the Lawrence University campus, a day filled with all sorts of emotions.
I'm really excited. I really like it here. I'm from a little north of Milwaukee, so not too bad of a drive.
New students and parents were unpacking belongings in dorms by 8 o'clock Tuesday morning.
I might loft my furniture just to save space, hang up some pictures.
Faculty and resident life advisors say it's an important day on campus.
This is a big day for a lot of families. In fact, I think 70 of our students are the first in their family to go to college.
Nearly 400 students are moving in throughout the day, making up the brand new class of 2020.
Demand for Lawrence University is definitely at an all-time high, and we're excited to see this class come in.
University staff say it's a record-breaking year for the number of applicants requesting admission, a trend that they hope continues in years to come. Keeping it local in Appleton, Elsa Robbins, Local 5 News.
Thanks so much, Elsa. Classes are set to begin on Monday, September 12th. Well, there's some new items on the menu at Lambeau. Local 5's Jordan Lamers is there live with details. Jordan, you've got the great story today.
That's right, Brittany. What is a Packer game without the beer, the food, the pigskin, and everything that goes with it? Well, here at Lambeau Field today, they are unveiling the new menu. This being one of them, a Wisconsin Supper Club favorite, pork roast sandwich and tater tots. Well, it looks good. Well, according to the executive chef of Delaware North, who is in charge of the food, the pigskin is the fan favorite, not the food, or not the football, I should say, a bacon-wrapped baked potato with all the classic toppings, cheese, sour cream, and chili. Well, other great items include the Hail Mary foot-long brat with Bloody Mary seasonings, and for dessert, how about a summertime novelty like a cheesecake cone to put you over the edge? Well, the crews here say that they have a great time inventing the new meals for the upcoming Packers season. Well, is your mouth watering yet? Because mine is. The chefs here say that food like this goes through kind of a test run through family night and the preseason, and fan favorites like this one make it to the regular season. Live in Lambeau Field, Jordan Lamers, Local 5 News.
Yes, Jordan, my mouth is watering. I'm jealous. I really want to try that cheesecake cone. That sounds amazing. Can't wait to check them out. Thanks, Jordan. Well, Green Bay tradition continues with the unveiling of the officials' Packers fence. This year's theme is It's Better to Receive and features a picture of Jordy Nelson. The original homeowners actually started the practice of painting a Packers slogan each season, and the current owners are following that tradition.